And we are up. Alright guys, so welcome back in today. Let me readjust things here. Welcome back in today. I'm going to be going over today another Korean match between the ROX Tigers and ESC Ever. And I really love watching the ROX Tigers play because right now, I mean, it's hard to say whether they or SKT is the best team in the country, right? Or the world, I should say, right now. But either way, both teams have been very, very impressive to watch, and I really like casting their games and looking at this high level of League of Legends really helps me as a play-by-play caster, and not only myself gain a more vaster understanding of the game, but also be able to take a look at teams that are doing things right. So without further ado, we're going to start the game here off in Champ Select as usual, and sorry. I really like Pop Smithy, but I'm going to have to... There we go. Alright. Volume's good. So, Varus been coming out here. Not much of a surprise. Temp's been playing a lot of Varus. Tom Kench. It's actually been a big pick for the ROX Tigers because they can flex it either support or top lane because Smeb can basically play everything. So, that's really helpful for them. The Vlad ban coming in as well. Not that big of a surprise. Vladimir's super prioritized for a lot of teams. And it's not really a surprise there because of how strong it is. It's not like it's unbeatable anymore, but it's not as good as it once was. So I'm just going to mute them actually, just so I can talk and practice my play-by-play. Alright, Silver Band coming in. Once again, the Tigers, they love to run those Silver comps. And the Alistar, interesting little band because Key, everyone knows Key for his Bard play and someone who's, I mean, he can carry games for ESC Ever without a doubt. But the Alistar coming in, that's something the ROX Tigers, we usually see them more played. Now, ESC going with Crazy in the top lane. This time, Crazy, he's known actually as one of those guys who can play Ryze in the top lane. Grokis ban coming out. But notice, yeah, I was about to say, there is no Nidalee ban, and you're playing against Peanut, who, in my opinion, is probably the best Nidalee in the world. I don't think there's contest. The team, I mean, ROX Tigers helps. They play so well around Peanut, and they're able to play aggressive lanes, and they're able to push things up and really let him, live in the enemy jungle. But the dude is just insane on this champion. He makes plays. He makes things happen. ESC here, I mean, there's only with the one jungle ban, so they can basically take whatever they want. Probably the Rek'Sai or the Elise. If you're looking at right now, we got the, oh dear, too many bad things have happened with Teemo hovers. Recently, I wouldn't hover that Teemo if I were you, because it might just get locked in, and then you're going to be screwed. So, the Ashe hover right now, wouldn't be surprised if that went over to Loken. Loken's definitely one of the primary carries here on ESC Ever. He gets a lot of the gold share, and they put him, try and put him on carry champions as much as possible, and looks like the Ashe Victor is going to be locked in here for ESC, and not a big surprise. Victor's a mid laner we see a lot, and of course Kuro, the guy who first brought it out in the first place. Don't really want him to get his hands on the Victor, but you got the wave clear, you got the damage, and I don't think you're going to see a drop off in his play until the 6.14 patches come out in terms of how the pricing works on his Hextech or his upgraded core. And Trundle and Jhin are going to be locked in here for the Tigers. Of course, the Tigers are one of the few teams who still can flex the Trundle into the bottom lane. That Gorilla can bring that out, but most likely going to Smeb here in the top lane. And of course, the Jhin, Prey, one of the premier Jhin players in all of the Korea. And so the Tigers are really setting themselves up here nicely. Regardless of where the Trundle goes, it's going to be a tank. And then of course the Jhin, not only with the long range engage because the Ashe was picked away, and of course most likely they would have picked Ashe if it was still up, but the Jhin pretty much does the same thing, and the Jhin can bring out even more great late game scaling with his fourth shot being that crit, and it just offers a lot, especially with all the slows. So if you have the long range engage from the Jhin and the slows from the Trundle Pillar, and then the Nidalee can follow it up with the Spear. And there's that Bard hover for ESC, and that's not a surprise. Key that is his champion. If there's any champion that Key can carry a game on, it is Bard. Pardon me. And the Rek'Sai locked in, not a surprise. Like I said, probably looking at Rek'Sai or the Elise with the Ragus off the table. Rek'Sai just offers a lot of utility and a lot of early game pressure, which is incredibly helpful. And looks like ESC is saving Crazy's pick for last. Of course, notice the Rise is still on the table here. The Tigers could, of course, pick that one up for Kuro, but Kuro's really not known as a Rise player. Probably more likely go to Smeb, but Crazy, known for his top lane Rise, one of the few top lane Rise players who's very predominant in the Korean scene. And of course, this is the patch before the new Rise rework has come out, so I haven't really heard how great the new Rise is from any professional players or anyone super outspoken about it. I don't think they've gotten too much time to actually practice it, being this is still on 6.13. There's the Karma and the Gangplank, and that's going to be locked in. So that's going to be a Gangplank top lane for Smeb, and going into whatever ESC wants to pick into it. And then it's going to be a Karma mid lane into the Victor, which is, I think, pretty even matchup. There's the Rise, however. I wouldn't be surprised to see that locked in for Crazy. And the Trundle's going to be going down to the bot lane. And with the one tank, well, we don't know what Crazy's going to pick yet. But with the one tank so far on ESC, that Trundle can do a lot of work in teamfights. Not only with the pillar, but the way that the Trundle can steal stats, and given the fact that right now Bless's Rek'Sai is going to be the only thing that's going to have any sort of tank stat on it, it's going to make things really easy for Gorilla in team fights in terms of who he wants to ult, and he can just steal away all those stats. He can steal away all those stats from Bless, and it's all of a sudden, I mean, ESC, they have a lot of engage, which is nice, because the Tempered Fate from the Bard ultimate, you have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from the Ashe, and there's the Rise. All right, Crazy going to be taking the Rise into the top lane. Lots of AP in this comp, and now it's going to be interesting. I think the Tigers definitely have a different comp. I mean, like I said, the one tank on ESC, the Tigers really don't have a tank except for Gorilla, who's going to be stealing stats away to be tanky. So the thing with the Tigers is the fact that you're going to have Kuro in the mid lane, and he's going to be popping off those shields all the time. And that's pretty much where your tank stats are going to come from. Yes, the ESC Ever team has a really strong engage, but if you look at the amount of poke the Tigers can put out in this comp against this squishy ESC team, if ESC doesn't engage on the Tigers, they're going to get poked to death. You have the barrels from Gangplank, you have the Jhin ultimate, the Curtain Call. You have you're gonna have the Karma solar flares. You're gonna have which are gonna be Mantred. And you're gonna have the Nidalee spears. Trundle's the only person on the team who can't poke. So I think the Tigers definitely have a very aggressive comp, and if you look at their lanes as well, Peanut's going to be able to have a good time in the enemy jungle because his lanes are fairly strong, and or he's going to be able to get great ganks off. I mean, I imagine Smeb's going to be pushed in early by this Rise, which is going to give Peanut a lot of opportunity to go in and get his top laner ahead, which is something the ROX Tigers love to do. And of course, the bot lane of ROX, this should be a fun matchup. I think probably ESC's bot lane is going to be a little bit stronger, so we might see a lane swap here from the Tigers, but we'll see what happens. Always when you're going to have ranged into melee for supports, it's going to be a little better. As we come in here, top lane, interesting little start here for the ESC Ever team, doing a full invade top to get those wards. Smeb Scott, and Smeb's going to be going down for first blood all of a sudden. Oh dear, Smeb had no idea the whole team was there. The only person he saw on the map was Crazy and Bless, and all of a sudden, they started with the portal. That's what it was. Key doing the cheeky start, and they've done this before on jungle invades, is ESC does this cheeky little start where Key will start his portal, and they had vision of Smeb, and they got in right behind him, and they didn't have to. The thing is that they only had to burn the exhaust from Key. They didn't have to burn anything else, which is pretty important. Just the exhaust down, and that's not really going to matter in this laning phase when you're playing against Jhin and Trundle. So I mean, great play by ESC early to do a little cheeky play to get ahead of the ROX Tigers, which is always something you want to do. And of course, the kill going over to Loken is even better, giving him that early dagger, so we can get that early Ruinous Hurricane. Is going to help him out a lot. And we are going to see the lane swap here, as not surprising, considering the lane, especially now that Loken has this early lead, and both top laners going to be able to pick up well. Crazy's going to have that little extra gold lead at the moment because the fact that he got the assist, and then, of course, one extra CS, but that's not going to matter too much. Key trying to slow down Peanut in the jungle, but it's not going to happen. But he could be looking for a roam mid lane, as they have vision of him. Peanut going after Key. He has the pounce. He hits the spear. And there's the flash, the passive trial by fire, and the auto tech from Peanut's going to pick up Key, who's playing a little too aggressive. And here's Gorilla into the mid lane. The exhaust going to come down. He started with the chop. The Thunderlord's procs. The spear going to come in, going to miss. And there's Bless showing up through the Raptor pit. And nothing else is going to happen. The exhaust is going to come down. The ghost had to be popped by Temp to get out of that situation. Now Kuro has a really nice damage lead here. So we see some of the lovely fans in the Korean League of Legends scene. But, Key going too aggressive. Didn't expect Smeb to be there necessarily. And gets caught out and goes down. And that gives Peanut an early kill. And not only gives an assist over to Smeb, which is going to help him out a lot considering his early death. And here we are back into the normal lane swaps after those exciting times in the jungle and mid lane. But terrific play there from the ROX Tigers, taking advantage of ESC trying to be a little too aggressive. Trying to be a little too aggressive there, and Prey's gonna recall. Solo goes over to Smeb in the top lane. And, you're looking at two different teams that it's kind of funny when you think about it. There's the Solo goal. So we're gonna take the tower a little bit early. We have an early Infernal Drake, which is terrific because that means we're probably gonna see some early action, and these lane swaps are really gonna matter. I think it's actually going to pay off really well in the favor as ESC is taking this bot lane tower really slowly. And I think this is because of the fact that Key got dropped really early, and Crazy's going to have to back off incredibly early here. And so you're going to have a tempo advantage here for the ROX Tigers as Crazy's going to be a little delayed on his back, and that's going to give Smeb a little bit of solo time in this top lane. Looking at mid lane CS, and here's Peanut in his natural territory here. Looks for a spear, is not going to be able to find it, but still making his presence felt in that jungle of the enemy team. And let's take a look here. As Smeb, he's gotten his opportunities here now to farm up a little bit, and the transition back. So this is interesting. So ESC is now going to lane. They're going to choose to lane against the ROX Tigers, and that's not necessarily too bad for ROX, considering the fact that now Prey has gotten a chance to go back and have his first buy after the lane swap. Let's see what they decide to do. And Prey's going to recall here, which means... Oh, no, he's not. Alright. So, yeah, they're going to choose to lane against this, which is fine for Jhin because he's gotten the chance to buy and have two long swords. Two Loken's Berserker Greaves, which don't really help him in the lane phase too much. Sure, you have the attack speed, which is nice, but Ashe, that's not necessarily extra damage, because Ashe benefits more from that crit, and of course you want to buy the early Runeans because then you're hitting more targets, you have better wave clear, etc., but in the lane phase, the early attack speed doesn't necessarily do you a ton of dividends. That's why if you're Ashe players, you like to grab that early BF sword, so you have the damage. Here's Gorilla showing it to the mid lane. The root coming down, Temp's popping that ghost again. He gets hit by Majiku. The root's going to land, and he's going to have to burn the flash as the spear from Peanut came in from the side. Peanut continuing to play aggressive, although even in CS pretty much with Bless, who has gone for that early Tiamat, trying to focus on that skirmishing. This is something we've been seeing actually a lot lately out of Korean Rek'Sai, is foregoing that jungle item, and there they are. Gorilla with the pillar. Peanut lands the spear. He's going to be going in, and Bless is going to be forced to tunnel out. And here comes Key. The tunnel through. Another spear going to land on the Bless, and Peanut's going to steal that big raptor away. But back to what I was saying is that recently in Korea we've been seeing this a lot. I know watching the Samsung SKT series, we saw this as well. Is that Korean Rek'Sais really like to bring out or get that early by Tiamat, just for that extra damage and that nice skirmishing that you're gonna be able to get from it. And so basically, if you go for that buy instead of trying to go tanky, which basically now means that ESC has 0 tanky members on their team, is that they're looking to try and fight ROX early, which in my opinion is kind of weird, because you're playing against an Italy who's trying to skirmish with you, and if she lands a spear, you're not gonna win the 1v1. And so, and also you have a Rise on your team who's trying to scale. Of course, Rise is fairly good early. Actually, he's not as bad as you think he is, or what he used to be. He can dish out quite a bit of damage. But it's just I find it kind of odd that that's what they decide to. That's the way the Blast decided to go. But I guess he's trying to fight early and often as a barrel combo gets hit off by Smeb as he mechanically walks his way back to the top lane to catch the big wave that's gonna be coming in here as Crazy clears it out. And Smeb or Prey I should say, has successfully held this freeze for a little while now in the bottom side, and it's pretty effective. He's now gained a 7 CS lead. I mean, it's fairly even, but Loken on Ashe continuing to rush that Runaan's Hurricane, and I'm not sure how much I agree with the Runaan's Hurricane, just the pure rush of the item. I like it kind of like I like the Caitlyn, where yes, it's the first big item you complete, but before you complete it, you get the BF sword, and there's the pillar, the root gonna be coming down. Prey's gonna open up the curtain call. He's gonna land the first shot. The last one gonna be locked on the Loken, and Loken's gonna have to burn his heal as well as his ultimate to get out as Smeb sends down the cannon barrage from the top side, and ESC forced to burn not only ultimates, but also one summoner to get out of that, as a successful trade there for the ROX Tigers, who puts ESC's bot lane on the back foot. Once again, Gorilla playing this aggressive Trundle style, and now you look at the CS, and all of a sudden you have a 20 CS lead here for Prey, who's just been able to get the dividends of that freeze, and the Ashe without the attack damage hasn't really been able to do anything. The root almost landing there once again, as Gorilla in these pillar placements have been incredibly aggressive, which is always fun to watch. The ROX Tigers bot lane play aggressive and up, as Ashe will probably be able to catch up a little bit more in the CS column after this wave crashes into the tower. But Prey and Gorilla playing this lane really, really well so far, despite the lane swap and the early first blood onto Loken. It hasn't really manifested itself in an actual lead here for the ESC bot lane, which is kind of unfortunate. When you get that early kill, you'd really like to see it pay dividends, but because of Ashe going into the attack speed, it really hasn't mattered, because Jhin just is gonna out damage you straight up right now. And but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is almost up. Looks like we have a little bugged icon here on the left side, or you can't really see when the curtain call is going to be coming back up, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is about to be up, and there's the TP flying from Rise, and here comes Smeb. He's going to stun Loken through the portal. There's the arrow. It's going to hit Prey. The exhaust is down. Crazy taking a lot of damage. Prey's going to flash out. Crazy's going to get out by the skin of his teeth, and he's barely going to survive, as the rest of ESC has now shown up, and Kuro's poking in shots on the backside. Here comes the curtain call for Prey, as the shots are going to be slowing him down, and here comes the rest of the ROX Tigers. The Chaos Star is going to be dropped. Key is going to grow down to Peanut as a spear lands. And Peanut, he's not done. He's going to force Crazy's flash with another spear. The root's going to land on the Bless, and here comes the cavalry as Kuro tries to land the root, but it's not going to happen, as the ROX Tigers come in and pick up 2, with Tempt going down as well to Kuro on the backside of that, and a 2 for O. And Peanut, he finds another one and presses low, blesses low. And Loken, you're not getting away from this one, buddy. His flash is still up. The barrel's going to land. Here comes everyone, and Kuro's going to claim that one, as the ROX Tigers pick up a total of 3 kills in that bot lane side. it's, you know, this was just so well played. At first, it looks really good for ESC. Crazy getting his channel in a little bit, but kind of in a bad spot as he's not really able to get there. As Smeb's able to do a ton of damage to him as he's exhausted and almost goes down in the fight. And all of a sudden, ROX's whole team is coming into this backside, and the curtain call comes in, slows them down, which is great. The last one on attempt, dropping him about half, and the root coming in, and Kuro able to pick that one up, and then Peanut also picking up Key on the backside, then also forcing Crazy's flashes. He's incredibly low. And ROX Tigers just barrel in and just take people out, and of course getting Loken as well on the backside of this fight. I'm not sure if we're going to see, yeah, they're probably going to speed it up here for us. Stealing the Gromp away there from Bless, and then of course the ROX Tigers coming in, barreling in the pillar placement once again on couldn't have asked for a better one here for Gorilla, and the ROX Tigers jump out to about a 2,000 gold lead at 12 minutes. You know, right as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow came up, and it looked good for ESC. It really did. No one yet to claim this Infernal Drake yet, but ROX Tigers, you know, are able to kite it out, and they're able to collapse just a little too well. And here comes, it looks like, what, a 3-man dive top lane. And Smeb is going to go down. Sorry about the yawn, guys. I'm apparently tired today. But Temp's nice roam up from the mid lane, able to put down a little too much damage. And Smeb without any vision. And, of course, the team pretty much almost all on the bot side because of this dragon. It's going to go down. And Rek'Sai's still in the top lane. Peanut can be spotted out there by the vision arrow from Loken. As ROX Tigers continue to shove this lane into the bot lane tower, and Kuro going in on Crazy. Crazy's gonna turn it around, but here comes the ultimate from Gangplank. Kuro chasing him down still. He's gonna land the solar flare. Let's see if he can hang on. The root trying to land the flash forward from Kuro, and Kuro's gonna solidify that kill onto Crazy. Well played by Kuro, knowing the limits of the champion, and the Gangplank ultimate helping him out a little bit to slow him out, and with no flash down, as Crazy had to burn it in the bottom side, Kuro takes advantage, and now a Karma on a killing spree. There's Gorilla. He's going to pop the ultimate as well as the pillar. Gorilla's in tower range, but he's going to get out, and he's going to be okay. The Enchanted Crystal now is going to hit Prey in the brush. McKee's going to find him. So is Blessed. The Prey's going to go down as Spear lands from Peanut, but he's going to go on Tempt as he has the challenging smite. The flash from Tempt as the Spear almost connects, and now Smeb has joined the party as he's trying to go down, and they kill. Bless gets another kill, and that's root from Key as Peanut's going to go down as well, although Bless trading his life for it. And Loken going, is this going to be a delayed ace? Or it's almost, that was basically a 3-for-1 there for ESC, playing the skirmishes so well. And as I was thinking that they wouldn't be able to skirmish that well against this Tigers team, so well, I stand corrected as Bless and Key were able to make the most of that fight, and it looks like they're going to be in position to maybe go for this Infernal Drake. No, not without their jungler, but of course he has his ultimate and can Void Rush down here towards the dragon. Let's take another look at this. Although it looks really great from the start with Smeb here and the curtain call, but Key with a great ultimate to stop that, and right as it comes off, it hits Prey in the side bush, and Prey basically gets deleted here by Bless with that Tiamat. And, you know, Peanut's going to go really aggressive, and he's going to force the flash here. Would have killed Tempt with that spear. And all of a sudden, Bless is like, wait a second, I got my Tiamat, I can kill Gorilla, and back off, and all of a sudden, the cavalry's shown up. A great exhaust and stun there with that Cosmic Mining from Key, and that was all she wrote as you know, Peanut being a little too aggressive, but he is 3-1-2, so you can't necessarily blame him. Going for that, what looks like an Abyssal Scepter, and going to be handing this blue buff over to Kuro, who looks like he's going to be going into the Rabadon's Death Cap next, if I could be mistaken, but most likely not. As well, going with that Athene's early is something we've been seeing a lot. We may end up seeing the Ardent Sensor is another item that we've seen Paker pick up on Karma before, and of course with the new passives and everything from these items is that they do stack, and so that's going to be it could be something big, especially with the early lead that Kuro has with these 3 kills. you normally say, you want your carries to have the kills, but on ROX Tigers, you almost have a 5-man team that can carry. So the fact that, Peanut has the three of the kills and Kuro has 3 of the kills doesn't hurt you at all. Sure, you'd like to say, like, well, man, if we get them on our 80 carry or our Gangplank, yeah, but, I mean, it's Peanut on Nidalee. The dude's going to put in work, and he's going to do a bunch of damage. As it looks like ROX is going to try and siege here. Key making his way up to the mid lane. More poke coming out here from the ROX Tigers, and like I said, the poke on this team is just going to be so absurd with the not only the curtain call but also the Jin W. It's going to be coming in from really long range. Kuro is going to be putting out poke. Peanut's going to be poking away, and so is Smeb. So Smeb just picking up that Trinity Force. It's going to be hitting some power spikes. He got an early Hex Trigger. There's the arrow again. Prey popping the Youmu's to get enough movement speed to sidestep that one this time. And he will not be caught out as the ROX Tigers 80 carry hangs on and makes it out just fine. As we're going to see teams setting up the vision here. And so Ashe is now completing her Rune and Hurricane. She's going to be going into the what looks to be an Infinity Edge next, which is kind of odd because Ashe, normally we see Ashes go into that they pick up the Infinity Edge a little bit later, and of course Jin's build, and so because of ESC not being able to get there fast enough, but they're trying to contest this. It's going down rather quick, and Peanut's going to pick that one up. The Infernal Drake going down there in the favor of the ROX Tigers as their lead now only 1,000 gold. The Essence Reaver, I was blanking completely, is, you like to go Essence Reaver after that Runens if you're Ashe players, and Jin going in from the Youmu's into the Duskblade is what we've been seeing a lot. And the next dragon up on the table is going to be that Mountain Drake, which is going to be beneficial to both teams, especially if the ROX Tigers can pick it up because of their poke comp. And they're going to be poking away. They're going for this mid lane tower and dropping it to about half, a little bit less than half, and they're not done yet. Prey's going to have to reload, though, and Loken taking a big chunk of damage there from that Mantra Solar Flare from Kuro. Kuro, he's not sloughing in the damage department right now, especially early on with these base damage from Karma. You got to watch out, and that was a huge chunk onto Loken, who's still hanging around, but it looks like the ROX Tigers are going to be able to pick this one up as Temp's not going to be close enough to wave clear it enough because of the poke from the ROX Tigers. That's one great way, although it was a turret trade, that's one great way to really deter someone like a Victor who can do an excellent job wave clearing, and it's really hard to deter him from getting up to the wave and dropping that laser because he can do it from such a long range. But because of the poke that the Tigers have, it's almost basically the same range as his laser, and so you can't, if you're Tempt, you can't just walk up and clear the wave as that Rabadon's Death Cap is now completed for Kuro. You can't just walk up and clear the wave because of the fact that you're going to take a Karma Q to the face, and you're going to take a spear to the face from Nidalee, and possibly a shot or two from Smeb, and it's just you're not going to be able to do anything without taking a significant amount of damage, so it's just not worth it, which shows just how nicely this drafted this comp is from the ROX Tigers, and how it's just, if you're put in the position to siege, there's not a whole lot you can do about the siege, especially if the ROX Tigers are able to pick up something like a Cloud Drake or Baron. Yeah, if the ROX Tigers get Baron, Peanut steals away another little camp there from Bless. If the ROX Tigers get Baron, this game is probably over, because I just don't see how ESC can come back. Because I just don't see how they could possibly muster it enough, especially if you were to pick off Tempt. And there's still plenty of damage here on the ROX Tigers, and Key's gonna get stunned up there, and half his health is gone after he takes a spear and a W from Prey. The Deadly Flourish there, and the curtain call going out. The spear, Temp's gonna have to flash. He's going to be hit by the spear, but the cannon barrage is not going to be enough to finish him off, as he's going to have to burn his ghost as well as his flash to get away from that one. And the ROX Tigers merely burning ultimates for both of the mid lanes, ESC's mid laners, summoners. Pretty significant now. Like I said, he can't afford to come up and wave clear. At least if he got caught out, he would have been able to flash. Well, not anymore. As Bless goes in on Peanut. Peanut's going to be grabbed here by the Tempered Fate. The arrow's coming in. Peanut's able to jump over the wall. The TP's coming in from Smeb. Peanut, the shields and the heals, keeping him alive. As the ROX Tigers are now trying to turn this one back around. The big damage coming out from Smeb as they all portal and tunnel away. But this leaves the mid lane open. And who's left to defend but Tempt, who has no summoners. And there's the pillar coming in again. The poke continuing to rattle down from the sides by the ROX Tigers. And Kuro, he's going aggressive, going for the root. Tempt's going to take a spear to the face, as Loken's also going to be dropped to... Oh, man, the barrel chain coming through, and Loken dropped to about a quarter of his health. And once again, the siege of this ROX Tigers comp is so hard to stop and defend against. And once your engage is down, with the Cosmic Mighty landing there on Peanut, once the engage is down, once your arrow is down, what are you going to do? And here's the curtain call, and there's nothing you can do. The big damage coming out of Tempt. Tempt's going to go down to Praise curtain call. Crazy's going to be tagged up there by his spear, as well as the root from Kuro. But Tempt's no summoners. He can do nothing in that situation. He gets tagged up by multiple skill shots and goes down. This is the beauty of the ROX Tigers comp, is if once they get people summoners, and you look at all these immobile carries on the side of ESC, like Crazy on Rise has no escapes. Tempt on, and a big chunk there from Peanut, and the W is going to hit as well, and and Smeb with the flash forward, cannon barrage, and the parlay is going to clean it up as Loken goes down, and once again, he had to burn both his summoners, and look, there's no mobility on the side of ESC. Their 3 carries are all immobile. Rise has no escapes. Victor has no escapes, and Ashe has no escapes. So if they get tagged up by any form of CC, or they just take enough poke, and Tempt just gets hit by the kitchen sink on this one, as everything lands for the ROX Tigers. Then of course Loken would be going down on that backside as he got tagged up by multiple skill shots. Then Smeb with the cannon barrage and the parlay to finish him off. You just see, even though it's only a 4,000 gold lead, and ESC has done everything they can, once their summoners are down on their carries, there's no way that their carries can get away from the ROX Tigers. And this is where the Trundle just fits so well in to the composition, because the pillar can slow multiple members of ESC ever, and it just works so well into helping the rest of the team hit their skill shots like they're supposed to, which is just going to lead to more and more great things for the ROX Tigers, as it looks like ESC is getting collapsed on here as they tried to go after Smeb, who's trying to secure this inner turret on the outer turret on the bot side, as might be seeing a little bit of a skirmish here for the ROX Tigers, but the Mountain Drake is now up, and he's going to get tagged up substantially by a spear from Peanut, who's also going to be hit by the Deadly Flourish there by Jin. And now Smeb continuing to siege here on this bottom tower, trying to pick it up, and the ROX Tigers have started up the Mountain Drake, and I don't know if the ESC can contest this one, and it doesn't look like they can, as Peanut's basically just going to solo this thing. And Mountain Drake is huge for the ROX Tigers, as they're going to be able to siege even better now with this comp, and it looks like we're probably going to be seeing another one here as the curtain call comes up, the cannon barrage comes out, and there's the pillar forcing the flash from Crazy, and his flash, almost on cooldown, is back down again, and they're going to claim this bottom side outer turret. And the beauty is the ROX Tigers don't need to burn any summoners for any of these picks or any of these kills. They don't need to burn anything for it. Oh, one sec, guys. I gotta pause. No, it's fine. Never mind. They don't have to burn anything. They just burn ultimates, which have far less cooldown than any of these other things. If the Temper Fate's gonna miss, Key's gonna get tagged up big time, down to half health. Smeb's coming through. He's gonna pop the barrel, but he's not gonna get any damage off on anyone. The barrel chain coming through. Crazy's gonna get chunked a little bit there, as this jungle skirmish is gonna be actually pretty nice for ESC, as Oh, and he's going to get tagged. The Dust Blade doing enough damage there. Prey's going to claim that one, and now the ROX Tigers are trying to clean this thing up. Peanut's going to flash forward and pick up that kill. Key just barely dodging it, and the exhaust coming out on Peanut, who's taking up the tower. The root's going to land on Tempt. Tempt's going to get by a spear, and Peanut's going to claim another kill. The flash by Key, and that was a 3-for-0 in the top side, or the bottom side jungle there. ESC can't control her jungle, and all of a sudden, this gold lead is around 7, 8, almost 8,000 gold lead here for the ROX Tigers. It has ballooned substantially, and the ROX Tigers, I don't think that ESC has an answer for them. We're going to take another look at this. So at first it starts out fairly well. Key just getting chunked out. Nice use of summoners by both teams so far. And but the thing is that the Tigers can just keep poking, and Members are just going to tag too much, and the Dust Blade plus the Deadly Flourish coming out for Prey is going to pick that one up, and of course Peanut and Kuro running just unstoppable on the backside of that fight, able to pick up 2 kills on that backside, and it's just reasons why you don't give Nidalee to Peanut. Usually we're seeing him in the enemy jungle messing around, and they did a pretty good job of slowing that activity down from Peanut. But the dude he can team fight on Nidalee. He can do almost anything with this champion. It's just so impressive to watch, and so we see the ROX Tigers it almost felt like they got everything they wanted in this team comp. And if you have to think, if they had, I mean, maybe they would have even drafted Jhin with this comp because it works so well with it. One would have thought that maybe they would have gone for the Ashe because of, and there's Peanut getting tagged up oh man, and they're just so low as Kuro came in for the backside flank and is able to just pick things up, as each laner on the ROX Tigers side is going to be able to pick up a kill on that fight, as the Tempered Fate came through and hit Peanut, but Kuro just had this immaculate flank on the backside to come in and do damage, and sure, Crazy, you get that bottom side tower, but you know what? The ROX Tigers are going to take the Baron instead, and as well as an inhibitor turret, and there's the Baron taken up by the ROX Tigers, and there's the inhibitor turret on the top side taken by Smeb, who's now at 3 items. Pretty much all of the ROX Tigers carries are at 3 items at this point, and so we're going to take another look. So the Tempered Fate comes out, catches Peanut, but if you look, Kuro has this immaculate positioning. The Cannon Barrage comes down, and Kuro just does so much damage in this fight, with the Curtain Call coming out as well. There's just so much AoE and so much damage that the ROX Tigers can't really miss anything, and ESC's just too grouped up, and they just get destroyed there on the backside, as Kuro's just been really, really great on this Karma in this game, and the ROX Tigers just look so put together as a team here. And this comp just working out really well. I actually almost like the Jhin more than the Ashe, because the Ashe, it offers you the engage and the cleanup, but with what ROX did here in this Jhin pick, is the fact that he's just Prey has just been able to sit back and use his skill shot ability here on this Jhin to really just wreak havoc in team fights. He hasn't needed to get close enough to auto attack people in team fights. His team can do that damage as long as the Deadly Flourish, and oh my gosh, that damage, and Loken, he's gonna go down to Smeb's Cannon Barrage, and there goes Bless as well, as he's tagged up. Temp's gonna get caught up by the pillar, and that's 2 for Peanut. They're not done yet, as Smeb's gonna get locked up a little bit. Key goes in. He's going to have to Tempered Fate himself, as Peanut gets another kill, and there's another kill. There's for Prey, and there's the ace. The ROX Tigers ace ESC at 30 minutes in their own base, and with Baron buff, I think this one's going to be all she wrote, as the ROX Tigers cleanly finished this one off. It looked like it could go either way, maybe within the first 10 minutes, and of course the early kill for ESC doing nicely, but man, the ROX Tigers taking care of business, and the 30-minute victory there for them. Very impressive, and don't give Peanut Nidalee. Alright, I don't know what you choose to ban it after this one. The ROX Tigers looked really, really crisp in that game, and that was just impressive to watch. So with that, guys, it was I'm glad you're able to join me, and we're gonna hit pause here. And this has been another episode of John doing play-by-play here for League of Legends, and hope you tune in next time.